Q. Litchard comes from a long line of native shaman.
Stories of Bigfoot go way back. They go way further back than when Westerners came here. The native people knew about them for a long time. And they weren't considered a mythology for the native people. They're just considered a fact of life. You respect them, you don't mess with them because they're powerful. You don't enter their territory.
The traditional description of the creature is also a perfect match for modern-day sightings.
Bigfoot are probably about as wide as I am tall. They have very broad, muscular shoulders. Imagine encountering something that's 6'2" across and 8 foot tall, 12 foot tall. It's a pretty intimidating creature.
Despite this, Bigfoot witnesses Sarah and Ray felt compelled to go and investigate their sighting. They did what others wouldn't dare do. They went to the exact spot where they'd seen the beast.
We start looking on the ground. And sure enough, we saw these incredibly large foot tracks all over this area. You could clearly see the toe prints and the heel, and it was shaped just like a human foot, but much larger.
For Sarah, it was a strange, eerie experience.
It just seemed private or mystical, or just to leave it be.
Within the native population, Bigfoot certainly have spiritual qualities. And it's these that could link them to the triangle. But where's the scientific evidence? This is what Cliff is after. While he's out on his search, what looks like irrefutable proof comes straight to him. Cliff receives an email, and he knows straight away this is something special.
All right, I'm checking out this video sent in by a witness from Fairbanks, Alaska, which is smack dab in the Alaska Triangle. This guy was out metal detecting on the beach, and he found a very strange set of footprints where he feels there should not have been a strange set of footprints. They're pretty widely spaced. They're in a straight line that tends to jibe with what we think about the way Sasquatches walk.
This video places Bigfoot right in the middle of the Alaska Triangle. It was filmed by metal detectorist Keith Lindsay.
Well, it was the spring of 2012. Late April, and I heard on the TV that the river was at an all-time low. So, being my hobby's metal detecting, I thought I'd come down to the river and see what I could find. I came down, I started metal detecting, and then when I turned, I looked up this way and I saw these big footprints. So I thought, that's strange, so I walked over to investigate them. I put my coil, which is an 11-inch coil, up to them, and they were probably 5 or 6 more inches longer, so I thought, wow, that is really weird. And it was still cold, so I thought, well, who's gonna be out here walking around in their bare feet, and who's got feet that big?
Judging by the size of his detector, these footprints are between 16 and 18 inches long.
And then I noticed the stride. The stride was a lot farther than what a normal human being could walk, so I tried to take the stride myself, and I was still coming up a foot or two short. I mean, would have had to have jumped to almost make that distance. So that's why I started videotaping, was because I thought nobody's gonna believe this.
Giant footprints in a straight line and with a stride that's over 6 feet. Classic Bigfoot, now caught on video.
They are typically flat-footed, they won't have an arch, and one print to another print, the distance will be large, but also they will be in a line. Whereas a human, it has this left and right pattern as it's in a gait cycle, whereas the Bigfoots have a straight line appearance.
I never really thought about Bigfoot until I found these footprints. You know, I'm just to the point where, yeah, I believe it could be.
We're sending the video to Dr. Robert Alley for his expert analysis. Meanwhile, Cliff's search for Bigfoot is going to take him late into the night, the time when Bigfoot is said to be at his most dangerous.
You're showing me the way, yeah? Okay. Because you just pointed it out to me.
After a tense wait in the abandoned cabin, the three hunters decide to go in search of whatever it was they heard moving around outside. And soon, they come across some massive tracks.
Guys, we've got some fresh tracks down here. Looks like a large animal, but they're freshly compacted, so something came through here very recently, yeah? The grass is compacted, there's been no spring upwards, they're new. Should we follow it?
Absolutely.
What'd you say? Let's do it.
Could these be the tracks of a giant hairy man making his way deeper into the forest, away from the hunters? Dr. Alley has been studying Stephen's footprint photo from his previous expedition to the Kenai and has little doubt about this one.
I really like this track, typical Sasquatch. I like it because there's no chance this could be a bear. Bears always have their middle toe the furthest forward, and the thumb, as it were, is relatively small, the pinky's large, but they're always behind that middle toe. And Sasquatches don't do that. What they have is a great big toe, which can even sometimes deviate. This is a beautiful track. I love this track. Also, it seems to be nicely wide at the heel. I like that wide heel. In humans, you only get that when you're a few months old. It doesn't last for very long. Also, no arch. You can see that it comes right back straight, which is a Sasquatch characteristic all over the place.
So in Dr. Alley's opinion, this is the footprint of something like a Sasquatch or Bigfoot. If not a Sasquatch, then it must be a creature that's closely related. Perhaps the hairy man. But what the hairy man investigators really want is an encounter with the beast himself. And suddenly, they're aware that something is out there.
Don't shoot it unless it threatens us.
Let's check it out. Wait, you go first. Shit, right, dude, it just peeked out of the tree right there.
I see it, it's right at your 12.
Damn!
Adam tries to draw whatever it is to them using his hairy man call.
Bean spotted some movement in the trees, and he called out and said, "Hey, I've got something." And I ran up the hill and I looked, and what I caught a glimpse of was something big, tall, and hairy. But it took off, boom, as soon as it saw me. And then I started following up on it, and before I knew it, it was 100 yards from me. And I just caught a glimpse of it down to where I saw it last before it disappeared in the trees.
In native folklore, the hairy man moves at incredible speed. In fact, it's even said that he can appear and disappear at will.
Are they supernatural? Yes and no. They have abilities that we find as Westerners difficult to explain, But when the natives look at it, it fits into their interpretation of the natural world pretty simply.
In the native culture, there's no separation between the spiritual and the physical. For them, the mysteries of the Alaska Triangle are just a part of life. Perhaps the hairy man is moving in and out of the spirit world. Back on the boat, the team sit down to review the trail camera footage. It isn't good news. There could easily be something there in the background, but it's impossible to tell.
You always hope to get something, but you have to be realistic. Yeah. There's a reason this creature has been elusive for so long. The hairy man is very good at evading humans, and it's a matter of luck, research, and opportunity whether we find any evidence of him.
Yeah, I always hope to get something. It's always a little disappointing when not, but
Got to press on.
it's a long shot.
Got to press on.
Yeah.
So far, not much luck. But so often, it's when you least expect it that what you're looking for suddenly shows itself.
We did get thermal imaging of a bipedal large beast.
Nathan hasn't posted his video online. In fact, this is the first time he's agreed to show it to any outsider. At first, it doesn't look as if there's anything to see. But then, towards the top left of the frame, something strange appears.
No, look right there. Look at that, right there.
See it?
What is that?
Gary, what is it?
It looks like a giant sea serpent with 3 humps breaking the surface. If Nathan's right about the distance, that would make just the visible part of this lake creature 40 to 50 feet long.
Wow, that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah. That's great.
The quality is poor, so we're going to send off the video for some expert analysis.
There's 3 of them.
Shortly after this sighting, Nathan's friend Thaniel had a monster experience of his own. He's a fisherman and was out in his canoe when the creature surfaced just yards from him.
What did it look like?
Like a giant snake creature.
Uh-huh.
Wide as the canoe and 3 to 4 times longer than the canoe, and black, leathery looking kind of skin. It had like that arch where, it didn't just go like straight. It actually had like a little arch with it or something.
Like a jaw.
Like the snout came out.
An arched neck means this was no giant fish, and it didn't move like a fish either.
Where it has like the head, a hump, and a hump, it would do it was like that. I was sitting there in awe, just dumbstruck of what the heck am I looking at?
Thaniel's description does seem to match the monster that Nathan caught on video. A giant serpent-like creature with humps. And from the safety of the shore, Thaniel took his own video. He managed to capture this glimpse of the creature just before it disappeared under the surface.
Yeah, what is that?
It's only in modern times that people around the lake have had phones and cameras, but stories of the creature go way back. The native people of the area have lived here for nearly 10,000 years. For them, the story of the lake monster is no fairy tale. It's part of their oral history. Raymond Wassily is a native elder.
I heard stories from all my elders before me of how they saw it, and stories are the ones that tell the truth. for the nomadics because they didn't know how to ride it.
As a young man, Raymond himself had a close-up encounter with the monster when he was out on the lake with his family.
My dad was on the cabin looking at it. He said it's longer than the boat. And the boat was almost like 32-footer, end to end. It looked like it had a hump, and then I couldn't judge it, but it looked like it had 3 on the way back to it. Then it kind of sloped and it had a tail, and the head looked like it could swallow you.
3 humps, just like in the video filmed by Nathan. Cryptozoologist Lance Hightower is deep in the wilderness near Thomas Bay, Alaska, on the trail of the mysterious Kushtaka.
Look at this. Look how dangerous this is here. Anything could be watching us. This is like a fortress in here. You have the high cliffs, dense forest, and if I was going to be at Kushtaka, I would be in the shadows. I need to find a way to investigate up there. I need to get over there.
As the sun sets, Lance heads deep into the forest.
Okay, we made it to the top of the ridge here. And as a hunter, one of the things I'm looking for is any signs, such as scat, anything like that. And I don't see any right now. But in addition, I'm looking for movement. You want to be still and you want to see movement. And if there's movement, you want to wait just a second to see what you have.
It was in woods like these that Texan Diana Lynn Tucker encountered the shape-shifting Kushtaka while out walking on summer vacation.
All of a sudden, there were these ravens. I don't even know what they were, these big black birds, and they were coming into the trees.
Separated from her friend, Diana is vulnerable to attack.
I'm looking around for Cherie. I can't find her anywhere. I can't speak. I can't move. I can hardly breathe. It just became dark with these black crow birds. And then I look over, and there's this bird-like man, this huge entity with this big face. Suddenly, I just fell. The birds were coming at me. I could feel the blood going down my arms. And, I'm sorry, it's just so scary.
The shape-shifting Kushtaka had made Diana's worst nightmares a reality by transforming into a bird.
When I was a child, I had older brothers, and we watched a very famous movie about these big black birds that were just evil. And ever since then, they have just always terrified me.
The Kushtaka is something that preys upon your most primal fears with this ability to almost peer into your soul.
Incredibly, Diana escaped with her life.
And my friend, she was, what is wrong? And why are you bleeding? She thought that I had fallen. And I was freaked out and scared. What in the hell just happened? It was unexplainable.
Diana could make no sense of her terrifying experience until she came face to face with a Native American elder.
She looked up at me with just the fear of God in her eyes, as if she had just seen the devil. And she asked me if I had been touched by the Kushtaka. She told me that the fact that I came out of it alive meant that I had a very strong soul and there was some larger purpose for me in life. It was validating. This was real. This did happen. I was approached and there's something out there. I know it happened because I've got the scars to prove it. It was just frightening as hell.